Okay, you know that feeling. The alarm goes off, and you technically slept, maybe even 8 hours. But, oh man, just getting out of bed feels impossible.
Or that classic 3 p.m. slump hits you like a wall.
Exactly. Like your brain is just full of fog, and, reaching for more coffee doesn't even seem to touch it.
Right. You try going to bed earlier. You try, well, everything you can think of.
But that sluggish, just slow-moving feeling sticks around.
Yeah.
So today, we're diving deep into that question. Why are you feeling so tired?
We're going past the obvious stuff like just get more sleep.
Yeah, we want to unpack some of those maybe secret causes, the real root issues behind that fatigue to help you figure out what's going on.
And hopefully start feeling, well, more energetic.
We'll touch on sleep quality, nutrition, stress, even things like medications.
It's often more complex than people think.
Definitely. So where should we start? Sleep seems like the obvious place, but maybe not in the way people expect.
Exactly, because it's fascinating how much emphasis we put on hours, the quantity. 8 hours, gotta get 8 hours.
Right.
But what our sources really hammer home is quality. That's the crucial bit.
So you could be in bed for 8-9 hours even?
But if you're, tossing and turning all night, or having really intense dreams that leave you feeling exhausted.
Or waking up constantly, feeling sweaty.
Yeah.
Just not refreshed at all.
Yeah, then your body isn't actually getting that deep restorative sleep it really needs.
So the question for you, listening, is, does that sound familiar? Does it feel like you're sleeping, but not really resting?
Could something be messing with your sleep stages, your sleep architecture?
Yeah, it's like you've run a marathon in your sleep.
Right.
And, the materials we looked at mention things like sleep apnea.
Oh, definitely. That's a big one.
Where your breathing actually stops and starts while you sleep.
Yeah.
That obviously disrupts everything oxygen, sleep stages.
And leaves you feeling completely wiped out no matter how long you were technically asleep.
So if that pattern of waking up tired feels really persistent for you, it's maybe worth chatting with your doctor. Perhaps a sleep study could give some answers.
It's a concrete step you could take. Okay, so it's clear it's not just about clocking the hours.
Right. What else is draining our energy tanks?
Well, let's think about the basics. Fuel, nutrition. It's a really significant piece of the puzzle.
Makes sense. Your body needs fuel to run.
Exactly. Think of it like a machine. It needs the right input, essential vitamins, minerals, protein to work properly, and that includes energy levels.
So if your diet's been a bit off, lacking that good stuff.
It can absolutely contribute to feeling tired all the time. Yeah.
And it's easy for eating habits to slip, isn't it? Life gets busy, maybe food costs are a factor, time.
Totally understandable. But the sources make a good point. Even small changes can help.
Like what? What are we talking about?
Well, maybe swapping out some processed snacks for, say, an apple or some nuts. Simple stuff. Or maybe considering a multivitamin if you suspect you might have some gap.
Yeah, bridge the gap. And the sources mentioned specific things too, right? Like vitamin D, iron.
Yes, absolutely critical micronutrients. Deficiencies there can directly hit your energy production right at the cellular level.
So that fatigue you feel could literally be your cells not having what they need.
Precisely. And conditions like iron deficiency anemia, that's a classic cause of serious fatigue.
So again, something a doctor could check with a simple blood test.
Definitely worth looking into if the fatigue is ongoing.
Okay, so sleep quality, nutrition. What about stress? That seems to come up everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. And its effects are so widespread, the sources describe it almost like a ripple effect, touching everything: how you think, how you move, even how your body heals.
Wow, so it's not just in your head.
Not at all. When you're under chronic stress, your body pumps out more cortisol, the stress hormone.
Right, the fight or flight hormone.
Exactly. And having high cortisol levels for a long time, well, it really messes with your body's ability to recover. It disrupts your whole system, including sleep cycles, which just feeds back into the fatigue.
So it's a vicious cycle. Stress ruins sleep. Lack of sleep makes you less resilient to stress.
You got it. Your body is just stuck in this high alert state, never really getting a chance to properly rest and repair. It just burns you out.
That makes so much sense. We think of stress mentally, but the physical drain is huge.
It really is.
So the advice then is kind of twofold. Like, manage the day-to-day stress with self-care, but also
don't hesitate to seek professional help if it's overwhelming. Therapy, maybe even medication in some cases, can be really crucial for restoring balance and energy.
taking that holistic view. Okay, now something else we put into our bodies. Medications.
Yes. This is an interesting one we need to ask you, the listener. Have you started any new meds recently?
But that could be anything, right? Even over-the-counter stuff.
Absolutely. Like antihistamines for allergies are a common example. Or it could be a new prescription, maybe an antidepressant or blood pressure medication.
And fatigue can just be a side effect.
A very common one, yeah. Especially as your body's adjusting to the new substance.
Huh. It's easy to overlook that connection, isn't it? You're taking something for one reason, and it causes this other problem.
Exactly. So the key thing here, according to the sources, is if that tiredness kicks in after starting a new medication and it doesn't go away, or it feels really severe.
Talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
Yes, don't just suffer through it. There might be alternatives, different dosages, something that won't make you feel so drained.
Yeah, I remember reading a case study in the sources about someone really hit hard by fatigue from just a standard allergy pill.
It highlights how even seemingly minor things can have a big impact on energy for some people.
Okay, now closely linked to stress, and often sleep too, is mental health.
A huge factor. And the sources really stress that this applies whether you have a formal diagnosis or not.
So things like depression, anxiety, other stress-related issues.
They can significantly sap your energy. It's a core symptom for many people.
How does it work? Is it just the mental effort or...
It's partly that, but these conditions also directly disrupt sleep patterns. You might have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or you might sleep too much and still feel exhausted.
Another one of those cycles then. Poor sleep makes the mental health symptoms worse.
And the mental health struggles make quality sleep harder to get, leading to more fatigue.
Yeah. It just shows how connected everything is mind and body.
Absolutely.
So if you're feeling persistently tired and maybe also noticing low mood or lots of worry, or just feeling overwhelmed,
Reaching out is key. Talk to a healthcare professional or even just a trusted friend to start. Exploring mental health support could make a real difference to your energy levels.
good advice. Okay, what about physical illness, like underlying health conditions?
Yes, that's another major area. Ongoing fatigue can definitely be a sign of a chronic illness.
What kind of illnesses are we talking about?
The sources mention quite a few. Common ones include diabetes, heart disease, kidney problems, autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus.
So if you already know you have one of these conditions, or perhaps you've just been diagnosed,
It's really important to talk specifically about fatigue with your doctor or healthcare team. There might be ways to manage it as part of your overall treatment plan.
because the fatigue is like a direct result of the illness itself.
Often, yes. Take diabetes, fluctuating blood sugar levels directly impact energy. Or autoimmune conditions often involve chronic inflammation, which is incredibly draining on the body's resources.
Right. And it's important to remember, as the sources said, it's not your fault, it's the illness.
Exactly. It's a physiological response, and sometimes managing it means accepting that you need more rest than usual.
Okay. One more specific area the sources touched on, particularly relevant for some listeners, hormones, PMS.
Yes, for those who menstruate. Fatigue can be a really common symptom of premenstrual syndrome, PMS, in the days leading up to a period.
Just feeling generally wiped out.
But the sources also draw a distinction with something more severe called PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Okay, what's the difference there?
PMDD involves much more intense symptoms, not just fatigue, but often significant depression, anxiety, irritability, really impacting daily life. The fatigue might be part of that bigger, more severe picture.
So while some pre-period tiredness is normal,
If it feels really overwhelming every month, alongside those intense mood changes, it could potentially be PMDD.
and in that case,
Definitely worth talking to a doctor or a mental health professional. The sources suggest there are treatments, maybe medication, maybe strategies for preparing for that part of your cycle that can help manage PMDD and the associated fatigue.
okay. So wow, we've covered a lot of ground. Sleep quality, diet, stress, meds, mental health, chronic illness, hormones.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it? There's usually no single, simple answer for why someone feels so tired all the time.
No, it seems like it's often a mix of things, maybe interacting with each other.
Exactly. As all the sources suggest, fatigue is complex. Pinpointing the exact cause or the combination of causes can be tricky.
It might take some investigation.
It often does. It requires really looking closely at, well, everything. Sleep habits, what you're eating, stress levels, medications, overall mental and physical health.
Which really brings us back to the value of working with doctors or other healthcare providers.
Absolutely. They can help you track things, run tests if needed, rule out underlying conditions, and just help you piece together the puzzle.
It's about building that full picture of your health to find the right path forward.
Yeah, and it involves you being an active participant, you know, paying attention to your body, exploring these different possibilities with your healthcare team.
Okay, so just to wrap up our deep dive today, we've explored a whole range of potential culprits behind that persistent tiredness.
From the quality of your sleep, your nutrition, the stress you're under,
To medications, your mental well-being, any chronic health issues, and even hormonal cycles for some. The goal here wasn't to give you the answer, but more to shed light on these different areas, these potential secret causes.
to show that getting your energy back might involve looking beyond just, trying to sleep an extra hour.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to take away. Considering everything we've talked about,
Yeah, all these different facets.
is there one area that kind of jumped out at you, one aspect you think, maybe I should look into that a bit more?
It could be nutrition, stress, maybe finally getting that sleep issue checked out.
Whatever it is, just taking a moment for that personal reflection. That could be the first step, right?
Absolutely. The first step towards hopefully feeling a whole lot better.